Everybody, welcome back. It's Isaac. What? It would be great if we had a song. I don't, though. I just said what and then pretended it was music. But can you blame me? I came of age in the 2000s. Kind of. I don't know what the joke even is supposed to mean, honestly. Hey, there we go. Azazel to the Lamb. At this point, there was years where I felt guilty if we randomed Azazel. Now, when every other run is Tainted Jacob to Ubermom, I'm actually like, you know what? Thank you so much. I will take a free sample. Thank you for the offer. Oh, with a little sci-fly attached to it, with a little sci-fly kicker, doesn't bother me at all. You shouldn't have. That would be lovely. And would you look at this? It doesn't work on the curse room. That's my bad. I thought that was going to be cooler than it was, but that's okay. We'll definitely crack open. Okay, thank you so much for the freebie. I really appreciate it. Anyway, how am I doing? I'm doing well, thank you for asking. Good stream today. Actually had a good Vampire Survivors run. It had been a bit. Fun game. Having a great time with this so far. It's actually, this is insanity. The quality that we're getting here is insane. Also, knocking on wood. You know, if a run is this lucky, you know there's some spirit hearts in here. But I think we arrived out of town, what is now 5 days ago. Starting to think that if I were going to, thank you so much, if I were going to get ill as a result of that travel, the symptoms would be starting to do a little creep up. Now, I'm not saying that we're out of the woods yet, but I am suggesting that maybe, just maybe, I might have managed to eke out being able to leave my home without catching like a respiratory virus, which is, that's a very nice thing. I don't take it for granted. By the way, thank you so much for that. If you thought I was done with this amazing floor, you are dead wrong. Let's go see the obvious secret room. Gives us enough money to do basically nothing. But that's, I'm not salty. This is like an absolutely incredible floor. And I am certainly ready to head to the next floor. Maybe as a result of that money, we get an arcade. That arcade allows us to buy something incredible. And then we're even further off to the races. But yeah, feeling good, feeling fine. Good Peloton ride this morning. Still getting smoked by, people in their 70s. But again, I think that they have very little else to do. Look, that's a judgment. I'm just, it's the copium I tell myself to. Well, and also, I will say that I think, depending on, your youth, you might have had superpowers, like relative to middle-aged and older adults. Not that I'm necessarily middle-aged yet, but I mean, let me put it this way: rather than beating around the bush and talking in like allegories or whatever, anytime I would get like out of shape in my youth, like my teenage years, I always felt that like within 2 weeks of starting to work out again, I had already gotten into fairly good shape. Certainly by like a month, depending on what you're doing, I feel like your body at that age is just like, no, I'm happy with free curse rooms. Your body is just like, oh, we're going to like work out now? Okay, like here's progress. Here's some free progress for you. Here's some progress. But I no longer assume that just because somebody's a little older than me, I no longer assume that I'm going to just be better at a physical thing. Nowadays, I definitely think I've reached the age where I have to work. It's probably easier for somebody in their early to mid-30s to... Sure, thank you. To put out some, bonkers output when they cycle. But somebody in their early to mid-30s who's only been doing it for 2 months versus somebody in their 60s who's been doing it for 3 years, I'm putting a bet on the 60s any day of the week, man, without a doubt. We gotta check a deal with the devil here. I mean, this run is insane. I'm not taking those though. Like, don't insult me. Now, if you're 21 I think you might have a case. I think you might be like, oh, what's this? How do I even clip in? And then you're like, oops, I just put out, you know, a 400 watt half-hour ride. 400 kilojoule half-hour ride. I don't know how physics works, but anyway. Right now, it's the Peloton is a weird world. I don't know how many people out there are using either the app or the bike themselves, but maybe you find it relatable. When I see someone in their 30s, I know I got a chance. When I see someone in their 50s or older, I just give them a high five as they pass me by. Because I know there's no shot. I think it's like there must be like a selection, right? Like if you're still using the bike at age 50, you probably competed in the Tour de France. Obviously, I can't back that up, but it made for kind of a funny punchline, I hope. I'll definitely... I mean, I love Members Shop, but we don't really have any other means to generate cash, so just give me a little blanket for now. And you know what? I'm willing to give you all but one. Just because my luck has been there today. Felt like I'll give the game more chances to reward me. So inevitably, we're going to grab perfection. We're probably going to lose it. If we lose it, I hope we lose it right here. Just because at least we could take the nail file or whatever the heck that other trinket is called that's actually allowed us to get into curse rooms for free. It's got a usefulness to it. But no, now I feel compelled to be ambitious and to take perfection with us. Inevitably, we will lose it soon after. I'll be bereft of trinket for the rest of the game and be like, well, what a ripoff. Yeah, that's about it. Made some steak tacos last night. Oh, sorry, not steak tacos. Tacos carne asada. Just wanted to make sure Steak tacos, disgusting. Steak? I prefer carne asada. You know what? You got me thinking now. My wife and I have become sickos, you know? I think... No, I knew it too. What I mean by that is, like, I think while we were away, we had to, like, necessity's the mother of invention, right? We had to be creative. We had to get in the lab if we wanted to get a meal that was suitable for 2 adults, but also a, 16-month-old baby. So we would always end, by the time we left, we were on kind of like a great strategy. It's like, I would order 2 eggs any style, and as one of the sides, I would get fresh fruit, and as the other side, I would get like, some kind of protein source, maybe like a sausage or something like that. And that was always too much food for me, so I would take a little bit of my plate and give it to the baby, and then Kate would order like the baby-sized waffle, because the baby-sized waffle was actually the size that like a normal adult human should probably be eating, and the normal adult-sized waffle was like, outrageous and also $30 or something along those lines, at least. So because of that, like when we came home and looked at our fridge, we started coming up with like meals that we could use to get all this stuff, taken care of. And now, oh man, I love all this. But I think you gotta take Stairway. It's just more fun to have more access to angel items, I think. So I bought all those, like... I mean, for tacos, I bought beef. The beef is all gone. Because I honestly don't buy very much. And then bought shredded cheese. Still a lot of that left. Still got 4 tortillas left. Half a tomato, half an onion. Some taco seasoning. I hesitate to even tell you this because you're going to lose respect for me. I thought I bought cilantro. But when I got home, I looked at the bundle surrounding the herbs. And unfortunately, I've realized, please, that it was Italian parsley. I feel like if I ran a grocery store, I get that like the herbs should be in the same section. All I'm gonna say is I also feel like they should move the cilantro so it's not right next to the Italian parsley. Because they do be looking similar. You know what? I'm not even mad. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not even mad. I know I can't get it. I'm okay with that. I wish I could. We'll save that as a lesson for our future. I wish we could have it, but we're already so blessed on this run. It would be a bad look to be so upset. Now, in case you're like, just get money and go back, I need to remind you, you can't... You can't do that with what am I talking about here? The Stairway to Heaven. So I got all this Italian parsley. I don't know what to do with it, but maybe now I'm like, maybe I'll make a burrito bowl. Maybe I'll just, I don't want to necessarily just make more tacos. I mean, I would, but like, let's put in the appearance of putting in some effort for dinner. Maybe I'll make some burrito bowls. But then I'm like, dude, if I got burrito bowls, what am I going to do with these tortillas? And you're going to be like, just serve a tortilla on the side. And I'm going to be like, the problem with that is that these tortillas are not that good. I wish they were. They're good enough to wrap a taco or a burrito or a fajita. They're not good enough to eat on their own. Like some tortillas, I know this might come across as like sacrilege. I really think like the Chipotle tortilla, you could eat it like a piece of naan. It's that good. Now, I'll also say, and I'm not trying to put anybody on blast here. It's your life, you know, you make your decisions and everything has a trade-off. But when I get a burrito or a burrito bowl from Chipotle, I don't get a tortilla on the side, even though the tortilla is delicious. And the reason I don't do that is because it says in the app that the tortilla is 320 extra calories. I'm not necessarily watching my diet that closely. I would still like to, you know, lose a little bit more weight, even though Peloton's been helping out a lot, don't get me wrong. I'm certainly not in a position where I'm willing to spend, you know, 3/4 of the calories burned on a Peloton ride on just having a single tortilla. That seems like a bad value proposition for me. In a burrito, you know, you're not getting around it, but in the burrito bowl, I'm like, I mean, that's honestly why I'm getting the bowl, quite frankly. But also, how are they 320 calories? Because that's a lot, man. For the tortillas that I got last night, were 170 calories each. They're big tortillas. They're 170 calories each. So a Chipotle tortilla is like 2x that. Now it's actually like 5x that in terms of the flavor. I'm just wondering, like, you know, whenever I see like a cream soup and it's like, oh, this is 700 calories a bowl, I'm like, okay, I get it. It's got heavy cream. Whenever I see like a salad and it's like, this salad is 750 calories, I'm like, okay, you know, Caesar dressing, cream-based dressing, something like that, bacon bits, lots of croutons. Which is why I lose my mind, and it hasn't happened in a long time, but when I go to the Cheesecake Factory, and like a normal meal at the Cheesecake Factory is somehow like 500 calories more than you expect, you're like, what the heck's going on? I guess they just butter everything. I'm not like trying to be like a nutrition guy. It's more just like, I think it helps to be aware of what you're eating because you can make better decisions. Like, for example, would you rather eat one Chipotle tortilla or roughly half of one of the bags of Goldfish crackers? I would, if I'm going to spend, the way I think about it, 320 calories, give me the Goldfish crackers, man. That tortilla's gone in like 5 seconds. I could get a lot of mileage out of the snack that smiles back. So we are going to go to the shop, but we should preserve some money, like in excess of 30 cents, in case we get another 10 out of 10 item. Luckily, they made 2 Sacred Hearts. The second one is called Godhead, so there's still one in the pool for us. I've gotten pretty lucky with the pills today, man. I gotten pretty lucky with the pills today. We even got the verb summer there, because we're living on the edge. I told you my music taste got worse lately. Yeah, I deserve that. I'll just take that. The tortillas are not good enough to eat on the side. I don't know. Now I'm like, well, maybe I'll just make fajitas. But then aren't fajitas just like tacos with chicken? I get you buy a different Old El Paso flavor packet when you go to the grocery store. I'll be honest, I would rather have Sacred Heart, but it's still kind of sick. Still kind of sick. Not relevant either, but that's okay. Oh, dude, hook me up. Anyway, I don't know. I'll figure it out. I could always just make my baby 4 quesadillas. When having an empty heart container grants another one. Easy. We've found some meals the baby enjoys. You know, for anybody that's not familiar with baby food progression, I talk about the experience of parenting a little bit. I feel like, I mean, maybe more than a little bit, some people would say. I feel like it's always dicey because everybody has, like, their own opinions, but we don't really, like, controversially raise our child, you know? The most controversial thing is that we might let her watch too much Sesame Street. I know there's parents out there that, like, don't let their kids watch any TV at all until maybe they're, like, 2 or 3. Some parents are like, maybe on the weekends you can watch a little bit. That's what we need right there. We're like, she's watching like an episode and a half per day on average, I would say. But she's also picking up incredible vocabulary. Like when we were at the hotel, obviously we're all in the same room. The baby didn't get her own room because I didn't want to pick up her minibar charges. Like she was living YOLO style, man. But she would wake up sometimes, like before Caden and I would wake up, and her waking up would wake me up. And I remember, like on Monday morning, she woke up and she was like whimpering a little bit, and she went, "Mommy, Daddy, Ernie." Like it was the 3 most important people, her protectors in that moment were myself, Kate, and also Ernie from Sesame Street, who I might add for you. I'm not trying to be weird about this, okay? But I, having watched the Sesame Street, yeah, we want this. Having watched Sesame Street with, adult eyes, I thought that the subtext, not subtext even, but just the unspoken situation with Bert and Ernie is that they were a same-sex couple. They live together in the same apartment. They have done so for 52 seasons now. That's a long time. That's a lot of commitment for you to have with a roommate. They sit in armchairs, both reading the newspaper and talking to each other. And they have holy mantle and blanket. Let's go. They have like an ornate framed photo of themselves on vacation behind the armchairs, like on the wall. So I had always, like, all of that stuff to me sounds like a committed romantic relationship. The line that Sesame Street, we're not taking soy milk with Azazel, let me tell you that. The line that Sesame Street is taking is that they're roommates. Now, I'm not saying that they can't be. I wouldn't want to cast that aspersion, okay? Because if they're just roommates, whatever. I mean, either way is whatever. But to me, I can't help but feel that maybe there's a little wink and a nudge. Like when, former President James Buchanan is described as a lifelong bachelor who just happened to have, like, a lot of roommates and best friends who were men. I'm not trying to insinuate anything by that, but I'm kind of wondering when Sesame Street is going to be like, we're married, And it would, the show is all about inclusivity. Like they've in the last year, they've done a racism episode that was like, don't be racist. They did, they just aired the rerun of like the Martin Luther King Jr. Day episode, stuff like that. That, all the episodes are about like, be nice to like your mail carrier, be nice to, your garbage person. Oscar the Grouch lives in a trash can and is just like honestly annoying 24/7. And people are still like, hey, Oscar, want to come to the potluck? It just strikes me that like, I'm going to pay for this one. Because I'm not using coupon for 7 cents if we get Emperor out of this instead. They may just be friends or roommates. But I think it would give me closure, which maybe they're not interested in doing. It would give me closure if they were like, yeah, dude, they're married. Don't be weird. I'm not trying to be weird. I mean, I just think it's weird that you're denying that they're married unless they're not married. Either way. Okay, take me down a floor. So that's like the most controversial thing, is that we let our daughter watch some TV. It's only Sesame Street. Pog. But still, for some people, that would be too far. And that's fine. I look at some people and I'm like, man, you're really raising your baby like vegan, right? Like this. You know, breast milk is an animal product. Well, obviously that doesn't... Okay, look, I'm not trying to catch you in a gotcha. I'm just trying to defend myself with an ad hominem attack at a straw man. But... if you're not familiar with how baby food progression goes, they pretty much only nurse for maybe like 6 months. Then it's 6 months you start to introduce thereabouts. You know, again, this is why I don't want to get into specifics. There's probably some, you know, pediatric science on this that you should definitely look up. Not financial advice. Source dude, just trust me. Around 6 months, we started introducing our baby to solid foods. Purees, you know, like thinly sliced pieces of fruit or vegetables so that they're less of a choking hazard, always supervised so that we're there. You know, then we moved on to like bread, maybe some bread with some peanut butter on it, you know, and now she's eating a reasonable amount of normal food, but I would say I've only really found 2 meals that she pogs up for. One is any pasta noodle with any tomato sauce on it. She actually learned the word pasta just so she could ask for it. The other one is a quesadilla. And I gotta tell you, the pasta with tomato sauce, at least it has a reasonable vegetable quotient. A quesadilla really is just essentially tortilla and cheese, but it's given me a great opportunity to sneak maybe, you know, a quarter of a tomato in there, a quarter of an onion, maybe a little Italian parsley, depending on if I made a boo-boo at the grocery store. I would like soul locket, but we don't need to sweat it. She's not that into we got chicken tenders. She'll eat a chicken tender. The whole time she eats it, she's going to be going, pasta, pasta. And I'm like, we can't just summon the pasta out of the ether, you know? We got to go to the grocery store to get the pasta. But she's like I don't want to say a cool mistress, but she's like a fickle. I think she works on like a pity timer where she's like, okay, I had pasta yesterday, so like I'll let you get off the hook with it today, but there better be some pasta tomorrow. But you know, I would say it's a diet that's probably not suitable for an adult, but adults also don't, you know, drink. I apologize for keep saying this, but it's just the, you know, reality of mammalian life. But you know, as an adult, you're probably not drinking, you know, 5% of your body weight a day in breast milk. So like, I feel like that helps supplement nutritionally a lot of what, you know, she might be missing with a diet full of pasta, fresh fruit, and quesadillas. But then also, every time my parents tell me a story about when I was growing up, they're always like, you know, oh, you love to eat like cold alphagetti out of the can. And I'm like, okay, maybe the quesadilla is not so bad after all. Maybe you could be doing a lot worse. What a run, man. Like, genuinely, it's been a joy to be a part of, even though I don't have Sacred Heart. I forgot you're not dead yet. Not for long, though. How do you cut a baby's hair? Because our baby kind of needs a haircut. But you definitely... She's not at an age where you could, like, take her to a hairstylist, you know, even restrictions aside. I guess you just do it in your house. You just put a bowl over their head and then go give them the old Lloyd Christmas. I don't know. Questions my wife will have to answer. Hey, Ruka. I would like... Oh, I can't even buy the Spirit Heart? You know what? I'm actually insane. I'm cracked. I'm still cracked. He's a genius. Do you see that? Look at Edda gave us Seraphim. He's so smart. And handsome. Okay, I'm out of here. You had your chance. Ooh, no thank you. Sulfur's kind of goated. I think we could take Purgatory. I think we could take Sulfur. I even think we could take Little Apollyon, man. Why not? And you know what? Why belabor the point here? We might as well just fight Mega Satan. Nobody's going to be like, oh, you made it too hard on yourself. Might as well just own it. Yo, what I did not expect... I expected the range up. I did not expect the Colossal Tears upgrade we got. So standing on his spawn? Dude, we're actually insanely overpowered. I'm still a little salty. I was 4 cents short of picking up Sacred Heart. You can tell I'm a little salty because I remember the exact bill. 30 cents. My life would have changed if I got 30 cents. Unfortunately, I only had 26, much like the Christmas song, Christmas Shoes. Mister, could you buy this item for my daddy, please? It's January 19th and he wants to finish on time. Hey, man. Anytime I talk about Christmas Shoes, there's always like one person, and it's different every time, but that's like, hey, man, that's a sad song. You believe that actually happened? It must be the most source dude just trust me song that's ever come out. It never happened. They're using it exclusively to tug at your heartstrings to manipulate you. Wake up! Oh, you believe that? That song was implanted on West Virginia radio stations by the Mothman. I don't know what I'm talking about. Can I ask you something free of judgment? What the heck is a cryptid? Because, like I know what a monster is. You know, like Dracula. Is Dracula a cryptid? No, because we know he doesn't exist? Or, like, what? So a cryptid is like Bigfoot. The Mothman. What about the alien from the Alien Autopsy? Are those cryptids? I don't know what a cryptid is. It's a... Look, I don't want to insult anybody. Because what I was going to say is it's a fake animal. So instead what I'm going to say is it's an animal I choose to believe doesn't exist. An animal that might exist, but there's no proof. Also known as an animal I choose not to believe in. Is Santa Claus a cryptid? What's going on, man? I don't know. Things I've never seen, but I can feel their presence. Is gravity a cryptid? I'm gonna get myself in trouble here, man. I don't want the Mothman to visit me, but as I understand it, the lore surrounding the Mothman is that he shows up to warn people of, like, catastrophic events, right? And, like, the only way he can do that is by showing incredibly bright red glowing eyes at somebody and chasing them down a West Virginia road. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!